Welcome to the Sunday Catch-Up. My name's Adam Holmes. Over the last 13 years, I've created 7 studio albums, 5 EPs, a live album, 2 albums with my band Rura, 3 rap albums. I've done thousands of concerts. I wrote a book on songwriting. I have 100 million views on social media and YouTube. I've had millions of Spotify streams. I have 300,000 followers. I've been nominated for the Scottish Album of the Year award 3 times, BBC award nominations, major radio play and TV appearances. I've created a course on songwriting, done dozens of music videos, starred in a short film, created a documentary about songwriting. I've produced dozens of albums for other people and built a monthly creative coaching business with 4 to 5 clients at any one time whilst doing concerts. I've built a network of self-promoting concerts in the UK. On a personal level, I've lost 5 stones of body fat, gained 10 pounds of muscle, overcome drug addiction, gone from 20 grand's worth of debt to financial stability in 3 years, coaching over 50 people since beginning from scratch my coaching practice in 2023. I've overcome PTSD with therapy, learned basic boxing skills, and most recently, I've built a creative confidence membership site with over 300 members on Patreon. Why am I telling you this? The reason I'm telling you this is because I want to build your trust as someone who's worth a little bit of your time and attention, as a creative person who's built a lot of cool stuff. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into the stuff that I've built. This week on the Sunday Catch-Up, I want to talk about what you want in your life, what you actually want to have in your life. This week, I've been doing concerts. I was travelling up in the north of Scotland, come back down. I've got 1 more concert tonight in Ayrshire, and then I've got 2 days of coaching, and then I get my daughter back on Wednesday. So me and her mum have her half and half, and she's going to be with me from Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to seeing her. She's super into swimming right now, so we're doing a lot of swimming, and she's getting mega into that, and I'm really enjoying watching her just become brilliant at that. So I'm looking forward to seeing her on Wednesday. I've got my show tonight. And like I say, today I want to come on and talk to you guys about what it is that you want. It's such a pertinent topic to me because, as you can hopefully understand from the list of things that I've told you that I've done in my professional life, it's been a topic for me that is ever present, that I'm constantly exploring. I'm constantly asking myself, what do I want? I also, before I was a creative individual, before I was a professional creative, a professional songwriter, I worked on building sites. And so all of those things that I've done came from the seed of an idea, which was maybe I could leave the building site and create a good life for myself as a creative person. So when I'm asking myself what I want, I'm now in a nice position in the sense that I actually believe whatever I want is possible. But that's not been an easy journey, honestly. It's been incredibly difficult, and every single thing that I've done, be that the albums or writing the books or making the course or whatever, has involved not only the physical toughness of just doing the work and making it happen, but also the emotional, the mindset side of it as well. And so I want to talk to you about what it is in your life that you want. And usually when you ask that question, people think it must mean a degree or more money or something kind of obviously achievement related. I don't think necessarily that's true. It could be a really good relationship, or it could be a really good circle of friends, or more time with your kids even. But when I ask you the question, what do you want? What comes up for you? When I ask you, what is it in your life that you really, really want? What comes up for you? And I'm going to ask you 6 questions just now. And my hope is that these 6 questions help you uncover it. And towards the end of the video, I'll give you a couple of questions that will help you figure out how you're going to actually make that happen. And the first question is, what do you want? Obviously. Let's draw a distinction there. When I ask you, what do you want? There's going to be a couple of responses internally. You're going to have one response is going to be very immediate, and I'm going to call that your false desire, your base level sort of desire. And that could be that you want to eat something, or you want to relax, or you want to watch TV, or you want to have a nice warm bath and kind of just chill out. And it's never, ever, ever in the history of humanity been easier for people to just live in that first level of their desire, because of all the convenience we have, because of all the technology we have, and because of the way we live and the work we do. It's just never, ever been easier. So that's your first layer of desire, your false desire. What do I mean by false desire? To give you a really simple definition, what I mean is there's two kinds of desire, your false desire and there's your true desire. Now, your false desire is something which, when you have achieved its end, you're no further forward on a soul level. And your true desire is something that, when you've achieved its end, you've had to progress on a soul level. You've had to overcome yourself. Sitting down today to record this talk for you is an example of my true desire. I want to leave hours and hours of me talking for my daughter, so that when I'm gone and she has a question about something, she can have guidance. I love the idea that you, Rosa, could be watching this when you're 50 years old and you're struggling with a decision in your life and you want guidance from me. I love the idea that you could come here and listen to this and hear me talking to you, giving you guidance. I also love the idea for all the people in my club and for all the people who like to just watch me and keep an eye on me without being in my club, that they can get value out of my ideas. I love that. That's a true desire. Why is it a true desire? Because this morning there's 100 things I'd rather do than sit down and put on this camera and talk. I would rather lie on the floor. I'd rather go to the gym. I'd rather go for a coffee. I'd rather just lie in my bed for a bit longer. None of those things, well, the gym actually would be a kind of true desire in a way, but most of those examples, if I were to take that action, wouldn't move my soul forward. It wouldn't force me to become more of myself. Sitting down and talking on the camera does, because I need to get over myself. I need to breathe properly. I need to collect my mind. I need to focus. Everything about the exercise forces me to become more of myself, forces me to overcome myself. So when I ask you the first question, what do you want? I'm not asking you, obviously, do you want to go shopping, or do you want to eat chocolate, or do you want to binge drink or something like that. I'm asking you, what do you want? I'm asking you, what do you want on a level where when you think about it, it kind of scares you, because you know that you're going to have to overcome yourself in order to make it happen. So that's the first question. And I want you to think about, not even think about, but feel it, because I'm sure when I say that, there's one thing that pops up for you. The second thing to ask yourself in this equation of what you want is, are you ashamed to want it? In my case, most of the things that I've really, truly wanted for myself have come with some shame. To want to be a creative person came with some shame when I was on the building site. To want to make albums, when I was surrounded by people who'd made a lot of them and I'd made none, and I was voting for myself as that guy, came with a lot of shame. To want more money came with a lot of shame. To want to look better naked and go to the gym and get my body in better shape came with a lot of shame. To want to lose weight, lose fat, came with a lot of shame. To say to the waiter when they came over and I'm sitting with all the boys and they're all saying, burger, chips, and I go, can I get a salad? And they're all laughing at me, came with a lot of shame. Are you ashamed of what you want? Do you feel afraid to admit what you want? And if you think about feeling that shame, what I want you to think about is when you were a wee baby. Look at a baby. A baby, just the most beautiful thing about tiny wee kids is that they're just vessels of pure desire. There's no shame on top of them. If a baby's walking and it falls down, it would never be embarrassed about getting back up and just keeping on walking. And imagine how sad it would be if they were. Imagine if a baby fell down, couldn't walk, and it blamed itself, and it stopped itself from trying again. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at the best friend you could ever have, or the worst enemy that you could ever have. And that comes down to your relationship to your shame. You've been so conditioned by the world, by your family, by society to feel ashamed of wanting things. And I want to encourage you to go for what you want, to think about what you want, to let that shame come up, and to tell yourself when that shame comes up, this isn't me, this is not me, this is the voice of society, this is the voice of my family or whatever. And an exercise you can actually do that I sometimes use that helps with this is when that shame comes up, close your eyes and say, who is this? And a face will come to you. It might be your uncle, it might be your mum, it might be your teacher at school. But I guarantee you, if you ask yourself, who is this that's ashamed? A face will come to you and you can recognize it isn't you. It's the conditioning of your mind, and you can release it. The third question to ask yourself when you're thinking about what you want is, has another human achieved it? And one better even is, has another human from a similar background achieved it? One of my favorite public figures is Kevin Hart. He's an American comedian, and I love him. And the reason why I love him so much is because he does a lot of different things. He's not just a comedian, and he's not content just to do stand-up and do that. He wants to try everything and do everything. Also, he comes from an absolutely insane background, and his honesty about that and his openness about that has given me the most amazing confidence, because he's just a guy that came from a tough spot, and he discovered that making people laugh was a way to alleviate that pain and a way of turning it into something positive, because he came from this kind of crazy background that was it was funny how mad it was. Heartbreaking. It's like they say, if you don't laugh, you'll cry, but that's him. He's managed to turn his life into this amazing thing. And I appreciate that he spoke about his struggles, because it took away my excuses. And that's what I want to do as someone who's come from my particular background of abuse and chaos and all sorts of trauma, and use therapy to overcome it. I want to be open about that and honest about that, because I want to encourage people who've come from similar places to know that they can achieve it, that it is possible. So asking yourself, has another human achieved it? But the crucial component is not to idolize them, not to think that they're special and they're a unicorn, because they're not. They're just someone who relentlessly put themselves out there until the nut cracked open and they achieved the result that they wanted. Number 4, the fourth question I want to ask you in connection to what you want is, are you willing to experience not getting it? Whatever it is, say if it's making more money, finding a partner, getting more followers, having a better relationship with your kids. having an amazing circle of friends. What I want you to do is imagine yourself in 5 years' time and it's still not happened. Now imagine yourself in 10 years' time and it's still not happened, and you're still sitting around with friends, maybe talking about wanting it, or you're still afraid of even saying it to them. Now imagine in 20 years and you've still not done it. How is that going to feel? I want you to really meditate on that. And I understand it's painful. I understand it doesn't feel good. But I think if you meditate on it long enough and really focus on the pain of that moment for long enough, you're going to realize that not doing it is not an option. It's a painful exercise, but not doing it is not an option. The fifth thing I want to ask you in connection to what you want is, what are you willing to give up to get it? Or another way of saying this, and probably a better way of saying it, is, what are you willing to feel to get it? Because let me tell you, from my own experience, from my own life, as someone who's made 7 studio albums, do you think I felt great the whole time? Do you imagine I was in the studio just feeling fantastic, sunshine, rainbows, just having a great time playing my guitar? It was hard. It was tough. It was tough because all of the things around it there were social dynamics, there were financial pressures, there was self-doubt I had to learn to live with. All of the thousands of concerts I've done, at different times, experiencing different things in my life, has been hard. Writing a book was hard. Posting 5 times a day on all my social media to build 300,000 followers, spending 5-6 hours a day on my phone while parenting a little kid, losing 5 stones. It was hard. It was tough. But I was willing to give up what I needed to give up to make it happen. And I was willing to feel anything. Now, the craziest thing in life, when you really, really think about it, is all you're ever moving towards is a feeling. All you're ever moving away from is a feeling. You only want more money or a good relationship or a circle of friends or more followers or a better relationship with your kid or a partner because of how you think you'll feel when you get that thing. And you're only not getting it because you're afraid of how you think you'll feel in the pursuit. So if you are willing to feel anything within the pursuit, and not only willing, but actively enjoying, in this moment, I feel this is hard. It's hard to get on here early in the morning on a Sunday, before a day of getting to the gym, before a day of admin and booking gigs and handling social media. It's hard to come on here and do this. There's a lot of things I would rather be doing right now, but also I love the feeling of how hard it is. I love the feeling of life being tough when I know that that toughness is moving me towards my true desire. When I know that that toughness is pushing me to become a stronger person, to become a better person, to become a person who's offering value to the world. It feels good. And I want the contrast. I want to enjoy all the good feelings, all the hard feelings. People often ask me, do you get nervous when you go on stage? I wouldn't really say I get nervous anymore, but it is tough to sit in front of 200 people and just be visible and be on show. It's tough, and sometimes you feel ugly almost, but I also love it. I love the feeling of knowing that I have this level of control over myself, that I can push myself through what needs to be pushed through and feel what needs to be felt in order to create the life that I want to create and create the example that I want to create. The last question I want to ask you in connection to you getting what you want is, what stopped you getting it so far? Now, this is a question that I want you to ask yourself with kindness. This is not an opportunity for you to beat yourself up, okay? It's just evidence. You just look back over the last 5 years, 10 years, or even, depending on what age you are, the last year, the last 6 months. Just, if you don't have the circle of friends you want, if you don't have more followers, if you don't have more money or a partner or a good relationship with your kid, what is it that has stopped you getting that? And the reason I want to ask you that is because you can then use that as information. You can use that as your strategy for how you're going to get to where you need to be. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to write down everything that stopped you from getting it so far, and then you're going to write a solution that helps you get past that obstacle. So if you're wanting a partner and you don't have a partner, and you're thinking, what stopped you getting it so far is maybe that you're afraid of speaking in public, then join something like Masterclass and learn about public speaking. Or if you want more followers and you're not amazing at writing copy and interesting headlines, create a solution for it. Study on YouTube how to write advertising copy. If you don't have more money, look at how you could create another stream of income and create a solution for how you're going to set that up. But all this stuff, make it actionable, make it time-based. What I like to do, or what I've been doing more recently, is writing notes in the morning, and I have 3 categories. I have daily, weekly, monthly. And I write whatever's in my brain that day that I need done. I write it, but I put it in each category because it helps me stay focused. It helps me take action on the right things at the right time, because taking action on the right thing at the wrong time is the wrong action. And it could be that you're underestimating what you could do in a slightly longer space of time. It's absolutely incredible what you can do in a year. As I told you at the start of the video, I've done a lot of different stuff. And all that stuff I've really done in the last 10 years. It's a lot of stuff in 10 years. And actually across the last year, in the last 12 months, I've learned basic boxing skills. I've built a membership site of 300 people. I've coached 30 people. I have created 2 albums worth of music. That's in the last 12 months. So you can do a lot in a year if the daily actions just stack up in the right way. I really hope this conversation has got you thinking about what you want. And I just want to let you know that on that topic, I'm your friend. I care about it. I want you to have what you want, what you really want, not what your parents want for you, not what your partner thinks you should have, not what your friends think you're like. I want you to have what you want. And if you just need one person who wants that for you, let that be me. I want that for you. And I want to invite you in the week ahead to think about that and to know that it's possible. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoy this kind of content and you want hours and hours and hours more content like this, and Q&As and a WhatsApp group chat with group coaching with me and 300 other creative people, please come and join my Patreon. It helps me to keep creating content like this, and it's only $1.50 a month. So, thank you very much for watching. If you want to join, click the link in the top comment or click the link in the description. Or if you're watching this elsewhere, you can send me a message and I'll send you a link to join. Happy Sunday. Have a great week ahead. Speak soon.